Hey, good morning. This is Laura Roehrick. Trying to post a video. Let's see how it goes. You'll have to forgive me. I'm a little punchy. I have severe jet lag from our returning from Europe 2 nights ago. My husband took me there on our 40th anniversary trip of a lifetime. And it was fabulous, except for this one story that I am going to tell you about. And what I am hoping that you will do is maybe share if you have any information of anybody you know that's had similar incidents. We had a really horrific thing happen to us in Amsterdam. And I'll just get to the punchline. And by the way, this is never one of those channels where I'm going to say subscribe, notify, share. What actually, you could share this. That could be a good idea. But I'm not one of those kind of YouTubers. This is not for money. This is for information. Anyway, so what happened to us on this trip of a lifetime, it was kind of a bucket list thing. Tony wanted to go to the majors. He's become this golfer. That's my husband. So we went to England first and then took a train to Scotland and went to a castle and, did all that stuff. And I got very, very close, probably within, I don't know, 30 yards of Tiger Woods. So that was a big thrill. So this was a huge deal for us. And then we went to Amsterdam, where I have been before. And my bucket list item was to try and locate Wim Hof's houseboat so I could take a plunge by it. I had the complete honor and pleasure and thrill of a lifetime of meeting him briefly in 2019 when he did an event at the San Jose Event Center. And I had knit a hat. He wears these whimsical hats. And the guy, I thought maybe he'd notice me. I don't know what I was thinking, but I was knitting this hat like he wears. And the guy next to me, Nikhil, he said, you got to give him the hat, not wear it. So at the end of the event, I went up and I threw it on stage to him. And if for anybody knows about Wim Hof, he swears a lot, So when I threw it, I said, I knit this for you, mother. And he said, I see you. And he came over and he shook my hand and he kissed my hand and blessed me. And I asked him just spontaneously, I said, hey, do you still have that houseboat in Amsterdam? And he kind of looked at me like, are you a stalker or something? And he goes, yes. And I go, if I ever get over there, can I plunge off it? And he goes, yes. So it was very short notice. I wasn't able to do it because I couldn't track down where it was. And there's like 160 canals. Anyway, sideline. So that's why we were there. And this was just a huge deal for us to go there. And so what happened was the first night we were in Amsterdam, we went to a little grocery store because I'm on this ketogenic therapy, metabolic diet for a year now for brain function. And other than today, I'm not quite firing on all pistons, but they're mostly there. And I know I'll get better. That's the main thing, is as long as I stay on that diet and get sleep. That's what I haven't gotten. And I got sick there. So anyway, that's why we're at the grocery store to pick up some cottage cheese and berries and yogurt. And my husband wanted to get these bananas. So he got 2 bananas. And I love traveling and I love being in foreign stores and just kind of looking around and seeing what they've got. And I'm, just kind of unfocused, wandering around while he's doing the self-checkout. There was no cashier. And it wasn't in English, so we couldn't figure out really how to do it. And he goes, okay, let's go. And I had the bag, so I just put everything in, and I saw the bananas over there, and I grabbed them, and I put them in the bag, and we're walking out the store. And this security guard comes up to me, and he goes, ma'am, come here with me for a minute. This is what he said in this tone. There is something in your bag that you didn't pay for, and I think you know what it is. And I'm just going, what? I'm in my mind. And then Tony goes, Laura, did you put the bananas in there? And I go, oh my God, I did. Oh, I'm so sorry. And I just started, and I was really punchy. I was jet lagged then. And, we're going down the hall and I'm thinking, no big deal. This was like the most honest mistake in my life. We are not criminals. I did shoplift when I was 8 in Sausalito after a long day of skateboarding, and I was starving and I had no money, and I got caught stealing a 15-cent cherry pie, and I had to turn myself in and go find a friend to borrow 15 cents from. And that's my criminal rap sheet. Okay. Tony is a retired school superintendent. I had a nonprofit agency teaching diabetic foot care and doing homeless foot care and foot care for internationally, and I have my own foot care business. We are not thieves, right? So I'm thinking, no problem. This is going to be okay. Well, within a few minutes, it became quite evident that this was not okay. And long story short, because I don't want to start crying again. I don't think I will. Okay, the guy, we ended up having to pay €180 fine. We could have avoided that if he called the police and they came in and heard the story and said that we were innocent or something. But what happened was, because of my kind of mental state of jet lag and not enough protein and all that stuff, I had a physiological reaction to his accosting me verbally. I mean, he was very quiet, and but what he said was so horrific, and the way he treated me was so horrific that I must have had just this adrenaline cortisol rush, and I just kind of started like sobbing, moaning, shaking. I mean, it was as if the rug was just pulled out from us. It went from this very innocent, the most innocent mistake ever, to him calling the police kind of thing. And poor Tony, and I'm just trying to put a couple words in edgewise, say, we didn't do it. And he was going, and don't talk to me like that, ma'am. We really don't appreciate the way you're treating us. So, and Tony had to watch him verbally abuse me. And I really felt terrorized. And I say that word with all respect to people who really are terrorized, because this is happening in the world. And, actually what put this all into perspective, the next day we went to the Anne Frank house, and then I knew what real terror was. But at that moment, in my state of mind, it was horrific, absolutely horrific. I have never been spoken to. See, I'm already getting a little, going to take a breath here. I've never been spoken to in that manner. One other time in my career at Kaiser from a nurse manager, but that's another story. So it took me 2 days. It took 2 days for us to get over that. We actually almost canceled our plans, but it would have cost us like $5,000 to leave early, and we would have lost everything. And I just said, I am not going to let this man win. He is a bully, and this is what is wrong with the world. So I am posting this to warn people. This was a chain store in Amsterdam. I'm not going to post the name or description of the security guard at this point. What I do plan to do is make a more professional statement that I read and send that video to the manager of this chain store and tell them what happened and say if I had an apology and a refund. I mean, 180 is a lot, but I also dumped out. We did pay for some yogurt and stuff, and as we were leaving the store, I just dumped it out on the corner and said, I will not eat anything from the store. It would make me sick. And, my little whatever, get back at them kind of a thing. So that is the story. And my dear fourth wife of my stepfather, Lois, she calls it Bananagate. So that's my story. And I'm going to post this and let me know what you think. What would you do if you were me? And I was much more affected by this than my husband, but he did have to watch his wife being bullied by somebody, and he was not able to come in because it would have made it worse. And then who knows, we could have been arrested for disturbing the peace or something. So I am back. I'm going to get some sleep and some MCT oil and some protein and some fats into my brain. And then I will do the next step, when I'm a little bit more together. So blessings to you all, and don't ever shoplift in Amsterdam, especially bananas.